The next fight is Andrew Sanchez versus Wellington, the Prodigy Turman at 185 pounds. Andrew Sanchez, he's an American. He's 11-5 overall in MMA. He's 32 years old. He's 6 feet 1 inches tall, and he's 6-3 in the UFC, including his time on Tough Season 23, where he defeated Khalil Roundtree to win the 205-pound tournament. He's coming off a decision loss to Marvin Vettori, but he's going against Wellington Turman from Brazil, and Wellington Turman is 16-3, 24 years old, a young guy coming up, 6 feet tall, and 1-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a decision win over Marcus Perez. What do you think?
Another tough fight to pick, guys. We told you this was a hard card. Right now, out of the gate, Andrew Sanchez, he's a wrestler.
Yep.
4-time All-American. 2-time NAIA national champion out of McKendree University. So, right away, this guy's a wrestler.
Well, and he was also the NAIA Wrestler of the Year as well.
Yeah.
So, his wrestling credentials are up there.
Yeah, something that I noticed about him, though, his striking is just okay. He's still got some work to do on the striking game, but there's always time for improvement. Every fight you're trying to get better, right?
I don't know how much better we're really going to see. He's 32 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much better we're going to really see his striking game. He'll probably work on it a little bit, but it's mostly going to be set up his game plan.
Mm-hmm. And for me, that can be taken advantage of. We saw Marvin Vettori do it in Sanchez's previous fight,
Yeah.
Took advantage of him on the feet. So I think that clearly Sanchez, he's going to be coming in here and looking to get this fight down. But not so clearly, right? Because you got to go over and then you got to look at Wellington Turman.
Mm-hmm.
He's also pretty solid on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
He's a BJJ black belt and has some pretty good wrestling as well.
And he's got 7 submissions.
Exactly.
So, if you look at the difference here, Sanchez is looking to either knockout or decision guys typically. Mm-hmm. So he has 6 knockouts and he has 6 decisions. He only has 2 submissions.
Yep.
And a lot of that is like we were talking about with grinding him out. So a lot of what you see from Sanchez is not necessarily clean knockouts. It's a little bit more of TKO, ground and pound style, stuff like that leads to it. But Wellington Turman, the Brazilian, 16-3, 24 years old. He's younger. He's 6 feet tall, 1-1 we talked about. He's more comfortable on the ground. He has that black belt, and he has those seven submission wins. So this is where it gets interesting. Is Sanchez really going to want to play that ground game with Turman for 15 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to want to, but I don't also know that he's going to be able to stop it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that he wants to stand and bang with him either.
No, that's the thing.
So,
I think I shouted him out on the last podcast we did because they were showing it up there, and I said, Wellington Turman, keep an eye on that name. That dude's legit.
Yeah.
He is pretty legit. I think he's 24 years old now, so he's still really young in the game.
Super young.
I think that this fight is going to go similar to his fight versus Carl Robertson. If you saw that one, it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth grappling exchange. Robertson was able to get him down, get on top a little bit, take control, but Turman was never in any trouble when Robertson was on top. Mm-hmm. When Turman got on top, he actually was working for submissions, ended up taking Robertson's back a couple times, went for some rear nakeds, went for an arm bar, went for some crazy things,
Well,
man.
I mean, he started getting to that jiu-jitsu game, and he was attacking. It's interesting to note, though, so if you look at Wellington Turman's last win, it was a decision win over Marcus Perez.
It's a good win. Perez is another jiu-jitsu guy.
Here's the other thing, though. Sanchez has a win over him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they both have a win over him, and that's really the only similar win they have at this point in the UFC. But when I look at Sanchez, he's been in there against the top competition for longer, the tougher competition for longer. He won season 23. Granted, I felt like it was kind of a weaker season, but he did win it. He struggled a little bit in the UFC. Both of their best wins are honestly probably the same person in Marcus Perez. He does have that win, though, over Trevor Smith. Mm-hmm. So that's a good win for Andrew Sanchez. This is a close fight, I think, but ultimately, I think that Sanchez is going to be able to shut down the jiu-jitsu game. I think he's smart enough to do that. I think he knows enough about jiu-jitsu at this point to shut it down. I think we're going to see him grind out and win a decision.
See, we're opposite again.
Ooh.
You want to know why? So, for me, real quick, I got to look at this. Sanchez has been knocked out 3 times in his career, right?
Okay.
And then if you look at Wellington Turman, he has never been finished. All of his losses are decisions. He has 3 decision losses.
Yes.
But I just like Turman a little bit more on the ground. I think he has more tools. So I think you're going to see Turman win this fight by a decision.
Well, this is going to be interesting. We'll find out. I'm super excited because we haven't had one the same